Hi everyone, warm welcome to our session with Bzen. Today we are talking about how the heart stays open. We're doing some practices to meet challenges when there is uncertainty in our life. So we are, as everybody can definitely feel it, we are living through a time of tremendous change. Huge amount of things changing, technology, things at work, and the political things across the world. And personally, for many of us, things change within families, within relationships. And more, the world feels increasingly unpredictable. Uh, and some of that causes anxiety, it causes us to overthink, stress, and there comes like a need to control, which is from that underlying fear of I don't know how things are going to be. I don't know if I'll be okay. And what we think at that time, most of us think, is that the solution is certainty. The solution is that, oh, if I knew what was going to happen, or if I knew I was going to make a right choice, if I was making a decision between two things, if only I knew what was the right thing, how is it going to turn out? And, or if I knew that things would work out, if I'm making the right decision, and then I could finally relax. But that, we've noticed, at least I've noticed in my life, doesn't really happen like that. If you are allowing yourself to just wait before certainty arrives and before clarity, like, waiting for clarity before we trust something, before we trust life, that doesn't really happen, right? That uh, is like we are just put setting ourselves up for a failure in a way that we just keep waiting for only when things are certain, when I can make sure, when I can control everything, then I'll be fine. And life doesn't really offer any guarantees. So what can we do to open our heart before things change, before so the invitation here is something deeper. It's to recognize that, yes, certainty may not always be available, and we trust life before certainty arrives. And so recently I watched a movie. I was invited to some, teenagers' birthday where they screened the movie. The movie is called Detective Sheep. Sorry, The Sheep Detective. And it's actually like a murder mystery, and it has like humans and that animated this thing. So it's a cute movie. One thing that stood out for me was there was so these sheep, they have this kind of a superpower where if they count to three, they say, okay, if something very terrible happens, say somebody dies, in their flock, and they feel, oh my God, this is so hard. I don't want to deal with this. This is too difficult. And they have this power that once they count to three, they will forget about it. So, when something bad happens, they all get together in a group and say, oh, this is so hard. I don't want to know this. So they say, okay, let's count to three. And they count one, two, three. And that, whatever conversation, whatever happened before, they've just forgotten. So then they've kind of made up their things around, what happens to people who are not there, their parents. So they're like, no, sheep don't die. We become clouds. So, they've kind of made up stories. Uh, but there's just one sheep in the whole flock who remembers, for whom this doesn't work. And that's the wisest sheep, who's living with, understanding what has happened, where we came from, how things changed, all of that. And so sometimes, like when we look at from a spiritual perspective, sometimes we think that, okay, if we use spirituality actually to bypass and say, oh, none of this pain is there, none of this is, oh no, I'm fine, everything is good, or in whichever ways, we all have our ways of trying to bypass that. So actually, there are two extremes. So there's one side where is the bypassing happening, where we're using spirituality to say, oh, no, it's, I'm just fine, nothing's happening, or, I just need to be positive. And so sometimes we can go too much on that side and, bypass our actual experience. Or the other end is where we can keep going into our stories of the experience. Oh, this happened, and then, we keep going deeper and deeper in that rabbit hole. And so the wisest thing is to actually have that balanced, or that position where you are, uh, where you can, see things for what they are and experience your, uh, whatever's happening, your, whatever circumstances may be, but to stay with your experience, to feel your feelings. So that's, in fact, the healthiest and the wisest thing. And we try to do that through a number of practices. And so one of the practices we'll talk about is, of course, returning to the present. The first one, where we, bring ourselves back to this moment. The second is, which I'm calling befriending, which is Maitri in Buddhism. This is the one of the Brahma Viharas, where we unconditionally accept ourselves completely. So Maitri is loving kindness, and particularly it starts with loving kindness to yourself. So that's the second one. And the third is what I'm saying, that we broaden our perspective through inquiry. So that's the third perspective. So we'll talk a little about, I'll go a little bit into each of these, and then we can see which of these, and I mean, I think all of these in their own ways help us to, work through, or see, the idea is that it's not going to eliminate uncertainty. Things will be the way they will be. But as we cultivate these three capabilities and we remain open, then whenever, you know, we are open to whatever there is, that itself is, there's certainty in just that I'm open to whatever is. So if you'd like, you can, close your eyes, or, you can your eyes can be a little downcast, if you prefer. So we'll start with the first one, which is being present. The present, we generally use the breath as a doorway to keep coming back into the present. So the Buddha taught that suffering comes from clinging to the past or obsessing over the future. So only when we are not in this present moment, because usually in the present moment, there is no problem. It's only when we are thinking about the past, or we are, in our mind, we are worrying about the future. So really, being present really requires us to drop these illusions, that, and accept reality exactly the way it is. And practice of mindfulness, which is sati, is a practice where one is active. So it's not a mind which is like zoned out, or uh, we are staying present and we are active in the practice, uh, to remain, in the present moment. So the Buddha talks about it in the Bhadakarata Sutta, and he says the past is gone and the future is not yet here. And so being present means taking care of whatever needs to be done here, being present in this moment, doing what needs to be done, and rather than dwelling on, If it's from the past, it cannot be changed, and not worrying about what's not happened as yet. So we take a couple of minutes to be really arrive in the present moment here and now, and just start noticing what's actually happening right now. Maybe you can start noticing sounds in your environment. Maybe some smells are present. Maybe the aftertaste of some taste is present. We can notice whatever we are touching, like if your hands are together or your hands are resting on your lap. The way your body is resting in your seat. So, what do I know that's actually present in this moment? You can also notice what we are feeling in our bodies, starting with the head. There's any sensation, any heaviness, lightness. So, as I mentioned, parts of the body, see what sensations you're actually just feeling right now without thinking about it, just noticing what's here. You can notice the temperature. Is it warm? Is it cool? There any tightness? Bring your awareness to your neck, back of your neck, your shoulders. We're not trying to change uh, any sensation or feeling. Just we're noticing what's here. Your upper back, in your arms, all the way from your upper arms to your forearms, your fingers, the palm of your hand, the back of your palm. If there's pain or if there's tightness, we just notice this pain in your chest, in your belly. in your hips and thighs, your lower back, all the way down your legs, through your knees, to your feet, to your toes, the soles of your feet. And as we stay present, some thoughts may arise, or something, anything may come up as we think of, oh, but this is paining in my body. Some thought arises, we just notice the thought. There is an active noticing happening. And we don't go down that storyline, oh, but I've had this pain in the past, you know, that time I had taken this medicine. We're not going down that storyline. We're just keeping with the experience of just what's here, just naming it. And the invitation is to keep returning to just that noticing, just that awareness. And in that awareness, we keep coming back again and again. Often we use the breath as that anchor we keep coming back to. So, whenever your thoughts or any stories that come, we again gently bring our attention back to the breath. Just one in breath, just this one out breath. And whatever uncertainty, whatever confusion, whatever anxiety, fear, whatever may be happening to us, as we practice coming back to the present moment, you will see you will notice a lightening of that. There's less tightness around that. You just notice, oh, this fear has been here before, and it's coming up again. So we're making space for that, for this sadness. Yeah, it's here. And and then we just return back to the breath. Just noticing, naming the emotion, noticing the thought, and coming back to the awareness. The second practice that we that I'm talking about today is, like I said, Maitri is one of the Brahma Viharas. It's often translated as loving kindness, as an unconditional friendship with oneself. So rather than trying to fix or change who we are, Maitri is the practice of developing a non judgmental and a gentle, compassionate compassion for your flaws, for your fears, for any emotional pains. It means to accept yourself exactly as you are right now. One of my teachers, Pema Chodron, she says, Maitri does not mean getting rid of anger or jealousy or the insecurity, but we are honestly investigating, we're looking at those feelings with complete honesty and kindness. Like in our practice, we are naming our emotions. Whatever's coming up, we are just noticing and naming it, labeling it. Oh, this is that thought again. And there's so much power in, in just slowing down from our very busy lives and very busy minds to just make time to do this, to just be aware of what's actually going on with us, what's going on in our minds, and then just returning to the breath. Emma Chodron says that true compassion for others is not possible unless first developing this loving kindness, this maitri for ourselves. So we embrace all parts of us, even the parts that we feel are, this shouldn't be here, I shouldn't be like this, I shouldn't be angry, I shouldn't be selfish or guilty or jealous. We're just creating space to allow all of those parts. And only when we can give that space to ourselves, to the parts in ourselves, only then we can allow that from others. If I've behaved in a way that I didn't like, if I can bring some acceptance to myself, to whatever it is that caused me to behave in that way, if I can bring some understanding, okay, I was very tired. I was, in that moment going through a lot. If I can just bring that kindness first to myself and that acceptance to myself, only from that softening for myself and opening my heart to myself, then I may then be able to open my heart for other things, for other people. But first, it starts with yourself. Whatever flaws, whatever we may think we have, you're just meeting it with unconditional acceptance. And sometimes the heart closes because it's tired. It's not a failing, it's not a weakness, it's not unspiritual. We sometimes may be just too tired of carrying everything. So see if there is something that needs putting down right now. That maybe you've thought about too long, maybe you've circled around for a long time. And are you just ready to put it down for a moment? Many times the attachment to future expectations, it really keeps us in that in that anxious, worried loop. So can we put down something from the past or some expectation of the future? While there is space to allow it, there's also space to put it down gently. And it's the question is like, how do you meet yourself when something goes wrong, sometimes when you fail, when life doesn't go as per our plan? How do you meet yourself in that time as a friend? Or do you meet yourself as a critic? Loving kindness is not just feeling good, it's an unconditional friendship with yourself, the willingness to stay with yourself, to see if there's a part of me that's struggling right now, part of me that's carrying too much. What would I say to this as a kind friend? And see if that opens up even a little in your heart, like just even a 1% softening of your heart. Third, we move into, like I said, broadening our perspectives. When we consider what is being successful, or what a good, successful day, what does it look like? We often have either it's an unclear thing or we have some big lofty ideals out there. So to really just examine what it is it that, you know, if I was able to feed my kids, I cooked food, my family ate a good meal. Is that success? I sent my kids to school, I dropped them off, I picked them up, I went to work, I completed things, my tasks, some tasks for the day. I came home safely. Is that success? We often don't see it like that. We don't see, oh, I cooked the meal and the family ate as something successful. We just kind of take that for granted. But just imagine a day, for whatever reason, you didn't cook the meal and, children are hungry till late in the evening and no dinner, and then somebody's scrambling. What should we order? What should we eat? So, do we see success in the ordinary things? Like the Buddha spoke about the eight worldly winds, that a lot of, like, through our life, different things will come. You will have success and you will have failure. Like, these are things which will for sure happen. It will not be that you will only, at everything you try, you will only succeed. He said there will be success, there will be failure, for sure. There will be gain and there will be loss. And there will be praise and there will be blame. At times you have done something nice, good, everybody will appreciate, you will be praised for it. And at other times, things will not work out, people will blame you. Like, those are, like the Buddha said, those are given. It is bound to happen. Certain things will, failure will happen, loss will happen, blame will happen. And can we like notice what is our experience to that? What is our relationship to that? To failing, to being blamed, to losing. Do I get absolutely, shattered when something like that happens? Like, I like this story of the Chinese farmer where uh, this Chinese farmer has a horse and the horse runs away. And so uh, so his neighbors come to him and then they say, oh, that was really bad luck, your horse ran away. And this farmer, very, he's very fine with it. He's like, they said it was bad luck. He says, maybe. Then after a few days, the horse returns and he brings some wild horses with him. So there's like now another 4 or 5 horses that he brings back. And then the neighbors come and say, oh, wow, that was such good luck. See, now you have 5 more horses. And he says, maybe. and and then while his son is trying to tame one of the wild horses, he's trying to ride the wild horse. The horse throws him off, and the son falls and breaks a leg. And then the neighbors say, "Oh my God, that was such bad luck. Your son broke his leg." And he says, "Maybe." And and then after a few days, the king sends his army people, his soldiers, to recruit whoever is there. All the young people have to go and fight in the war for the king, and and so everybody's sons are being taken to fight the war. But this one, because he broke his leg, he said he doesn't have to go and fight the war. And then again, everybody says, "Oh wow, see, it was good luck that he broke his leg." And he says, "Maybe." And so sometimes we don't know what we think. We know that, oh, this is really the right thing, or this should have happened. We don't know. It's really a maybe, or something that we were very sure this should not have happened. This should definitely not have happened. And you can, I'm sure, find examples of that in your life when something happened that you absolutely felt should not have happened. And you notice that, you know, it was for the better that it happened, whatever you thought shouldn't have happened. So maybe think of something like that in your own life, some examples. So life has an intelligence which is bigger than our immediate conclusions. Whatever we decide, oh, and life has its own way of later showing us. So can I allow this moment without deciding if it's right, or if it's good or not? Can we just say maybe to something that we really strongly feel about? Can we for a moment say maybe? So just coming back to that when I said staying open means keeping your heart open, it doesn't really mean having certainty, having control. It perhaps means that we learn to keep returning to the present moment, return to this breath, return to this whatever's feeling, whatever sensations I'm experiencing in my body, return to this moment, return to this perspective of maybe not knowing, and return to trusting that life has an intelligence far greater than my own intelligence. Perhaps it's just learning to keep returning in these ways. And as we bring loving kindness, Maitri to ourselves, maybe you can repeat this or say with me, may I be safe, may I be safe, may I be well, may I be free, So good to remind ourselves of that may all beings, may everybody who's living with uncertainty, going through something difficult, may they all know moments of peace. May they all know kindness. And may they all know steadiness. So whenever in this coming week or next few days, what are the things we can remember to keep coming back to? The first is return to the present moment, what is actually here. Befriend. Can I meet it with kindness? Can I accept what is? And three, can I see it as part of a larger unfolding? Can I see it as maybe this is good? There is a higher intelligence, and can I trust in that? So we may not know what's going to come next, but maybe we can learn how we want to meet it, how we want to relate to whatever is going to come up in our lives. Just take a minute to pause here and just settle in. You may take from this whatever resonated, whatever you felt you need, anything you may remember from this, and leave something that did not resonate. Whenever you feel ready, you can open your eyes, come back. Would anybody like to share any experiences, anything that came up for you specifically today?
I just wanted to thank you so much for this session. It was very peaceful. I felt in the beginning I was a little restless, and then I felt this immense peace come over me. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you for sharing. Yes, there is so much value in, just allowing, making space for our own selves, actually, to be present with our own selves. Thank you, Sagri, for sharing. Anybody else would like to share something? Anything that stayed with you that you'd like to, take with you?
Thank you, Puneet. That was beautiful. I loved how you connected the Brahma Viharas to like look at ourselves and kind of go there and our experience. So yeah, it was lovely. Thank you.
Thanks for that. All right. So if, this is the every Sunday, at the same time we have these sessions, and so next week Smita and then Shubhra. So we'll have different sessions around the same thing. Yeah, Mubarak says puts me at ease. Your voice is so soothing. Thank you, Mubarak. Thank you. And yeah, so we'll continue having our Sunday sessions this entire month. We'll stay with the same theme of keeping your heart open and, softening as we go through whatever different experiences. And the week after next, Shubhra will be doing an art session. So it's more like art to bring you into the present, and these same things. It doesn't require art experience, so just come and feel free to be part of that. Thank you so much, Mubarak, Shruti. Yeah, that's
Thank you so much for me. Just listening to you puts me at ease, always. इतना सूदिंग इतना काम है तुम्हारा आवाज ऐसे ही सुनते रहो ना तो आदमी मतलब even if you don't teach us anything and you just go on talking also it'll have a calming effect on a person, I'm sure. It's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone. And
Thank you.
continue
Bye,
joining
everyone.
us. Yeah, thank you.
You.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.